and welcome to Bristol's Nutrition Time. I'm Debbie, the Nutrition Program Director, and this is Olivia, the nutritionist at Bristol Elder Services. Today, we're going to talk about a world of flavor. So March is National Nutrition Month, and that's what we're going to be talking about, just a world of flavor. And ingredients that may be familiar to you, or something that you may not have had in the past, but maybe you can put it into a new dish.
Yeah, so National Nutrition Month happens every year. It happens in March every year, and it is run by the Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics. So they pick a theme every year, and this year it is celebrating a world of flavors. So that's what we'll be talking about today.
Okay, good. So Olivia, can you tell us the benefits of eating a diet with a wide variety of flavors?
Yes, so with the theme of this year, we want to make sure that everyone includes a variety of flavors. We try out different cuisines from around the world. So some benefits are that you get a different taste into your food, you get to try different spices, different flavors, maybe some dishes that you've never tried before or have never even heard of. And then you also learn to appreciate your own cuisine, your own culture through this as well, by trying out foods from new areas and also enjoying the foods that you're used to as well.
And what type of foods would contribute to a healthy eating?
So for healthy eating, this coincides with our theme. So healthy eating, that would consist of a balanced plate. So what that would be is a protein, a vegetable, and a carbohydrate. So all healthy, great versions of those that you can find around the world. And many dishes that we'll find in other cultures include all three of those. And then in some dishes, depending on what it is, you'll also get some dairy and some fruits, which we need throughout the day.
Okay, so you said a balanced plate. Can you tell me what a balanced plate is? Because for me, I like starches, so
yeah.
Maybe it's more than a quarter of the plate that the starches have.
Yeah, absolutely. So I also love carbs.
Okay.
Everybody loves carbs. But what we want to do is try to find a balance with our plate. So if you look at the diagram of my plate, which is what we follow, you'll have a whole plate, and half of it will include vegetables. A quarter of that plate will include protein, and then the other quarter will be carbohydrates. So different sizes of that, it varies depending on what protein you're eating. So if you're having chicken, it's about the size of your palm. And if you're having fish or seafood, that's also the size of your palm. And then if you're having red meat, it's a little bit less than that, but around the same size. So that will take up about a quarter of your plate, and that helps to keep you full. And then for the carbohydrates, we want to try to find a healthy source of that. So what that would include would be whole grain bread, that would be white or brown rice, and then any starchy vegetables. So that can include sweet potatoes, regular potatoes. Those also are great to find on our plate. And then the main part of our plate would be vegetables. So that can either be a side salad, whichever you like. We like to include all of the yummy vegetables that we're used to, but also we want to try some new ones. So that will be half the plate, whether it's a side salad, sauteed veggies, or just a mix of whatever you want.
So a really colorful plate is...
Yes, we love color. Love a colorful plate.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how can we ensure that we're eating a variety of flavors?
So by getting a variety of flavors, you'll get this from the theme of the month. So trying foods from different cultures. So what we can do with that is some small changes. Mm-hmm. So let's say that you like to have sauteed mushrooms as your vegetable on the side. If you like baby bella or white mushrooms that you normally find in the supermarket and is really popular, you can try to swap it out for a shiitake or a maitake, which is really popular in Asian cuisine. So that's just a simple swap that we can make to do that.
And that's great because we have a lot of grocery stores in our communities. So everywhere you go, there's just a variety of produce. There's just a lot of different lettuces that you can try.
Exactly.
Seems-
It's so readily available now. Anywhere you go in the supermarket, you can find so many different types of lettuces. Like you said, if you normally like an iceberg or a green lettuce, you can try arugula. That's really popular in Europe. So that's just something new to add. It has a bit of a peppery taste, so it tastes a little different than normal lettuce, but you can find that in the supermarket.
So I've been to the supermarket, obviously, grocery shopping,
Oh,
and
yeah.
I've found something called jicama, but I don't really know what it is or how it could be used.
Okay, yeah, we love jicama. So jicama is a root vegetable, and it's typically prepared in Mexican cuisine. And what you can do is you can either shred it and grate it and add it into coleslaw, and it'll add a little bit more crunch to your coleslaw. Or what a lot of people like is you can take that jicama, you can slice it into long strips, and then make it into French fries. Everybody loves French fries.
I do love French fries.
We love
so
French
I'll
fries.
be doing that.
Yeah. So jicama, it's a bit more of a low carb option for instead of a potato. And it's just trying a different food from another region.
Oh, that's
It's
really great to know.
Yeah.
So can you tell us different ways to celebrate more flavors?
Yeah, so different ways that we can celebrate is, like I said before, we can make small changes. So a small change like we discussed before with the mushrooms, or another small change that we can make is with our breakfast. So a lot of people like to keep the same breakfast. It helps to set our day, sets our week, and you really find a rhythm with that breakfast. So it's really easy to swap out certain things in our breakfast. So let's say, for instance, if you like a smoothie in the morning and you're adding banana and blueberries, strawberries, what you can do is maybe swap out the berries one time and try papaya or try passion fruit, and you're trying a fruit that you've never tried before. Tropical, we love a new fruit. Papaya, it's a orange fruit, and on the outside it's either green or yellow. Inside is orange, you can add that. Or also in the supermarket you can find passion fruit now. It's everywhere. And it's just a small circular fruit. You slice it in half, and on the inside there's a yellow pulp that's on the inside, a yellow fruit, and you can add that into your smoothie. And that's an easy way to swap it out.
Okay, so the other thing for March is it's actually National Frozen Food Month. So what I was always looking at is, fruits sometimes tend to be a little bit more expensive. So what I do is just get frozen fruits and add that to my smoothies, or even like my overnight oats. So can you give us some examples on what you'd be able to put in the overnight oats, or different types of oats that we could use?
Absolutely, yeah. Frozen fruit is a great option. Has the same nutritional quality as regular fruit. It just tends to be cheaper more often, and then you can use it for longer since it's frozen. So what I would do with that is, do you like oatmeal?
Yeah.
Yeah? So in the morning, if you like oatmeal, if you use the traditional,
I use oats.
what
the
you
rolled
use regular
yeah.
oats, the rolled oats, yeah. So what you can do is swap that for Scottish oatmeal. So it's a finer oat. It has a little more texture than a rolled oat.
Okay.
And what you can do is add half a cup of oats, of the Scottish oats. You'll put a cup of either milk, water, nut milk, whichever you prefer. Add that in, and then you can add some almond butter or peanut in for protein. And then you can take those frozen fruits, whether you like frozen papaya or you like frozen blueberries, you can add that into the overnight oats. And throughout the night, it'll soak up all that moisture. It'll get the frozen fruits ready to be eaten so they won't be frozen in the morning when you have it. And that's a great option.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
So I'm going to ask you about different spices throughout the continents and how we can maybe add them to different recipes or different dishes that we could do at home.
Yeah.
So could you tell us about that?
Yeah, so every continent has different spices that they use, different popular spices that we'll find in the dishes. So what you will find is that if we go over to Africa, Typically, they'll use curry powder, they'll use chili seasoning, and that really adds some flavor to the dish. And you can either add that to a sauce, or you can marinate that with chicken or beef and just try some new spices. It's really good. And then if we hop over to Europe, you'll find a lot of oregano, you'll find a lot of this spice called saffron, which you can use a little bit of it because it does have a strong flavor, kind of a fruity and very aromatic taste, but it's really good. Add that into rice. And a popular dish they use over there is paella. So you use the saffron in paella, which is just a bunch of rice, vegetables, and then chicken and seafood mixed together. So you'll find a lot of that in Europe. And then if we head over to North America, we like to use a lot of cinnamon, whether you're sweetening sweet potato with it or you're sweetening your oats with it, that's a great option. And then also mustard for your savory dishes. If you have ground mustard, you can put that as a marinade for salmon is really good if you have honey mustard salmon. Or if you use it as the condiment, you can use that as well.
Okay.
And that's really popular in North America. And then if we head over to South America, what they use a lot over there would be cumin. That is really popular. It has a strong flavor, so you can just add a little bit of it to chicken.
Yeah, I think you have to be really careful with cumin.
A little, yeah.
So it's just a pinch.
Right, you have
Or
to make
you
sure
can-
that you
yeah.
like it, get used to it,
Yeah.
and then, but mixing that with salt, pepper, the normal, I don't want to say normal, the regular spices that you'd use every day, that can make a great dish. And then if you go over to Oceania, which is all of Australia, New Zealand, the islands around over there, they like to use a lot of native mint. So do you love mint?
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
I grow mint in the summer.
Oh,
so I have
awesome.
different types of mints in the
Yeah,
garden.
yeah. Mint is great. So you can use it to make a mint jelly if you make lamb, or if you want to add it into, if you love ice cream, you can add mint into ice cream also.
Yeah.
It gives it a little bit more flavor.
Yeah, so we grow different types of mint. So we have a cocoa mint, pineapple mint, and all different things. And the kids like to muddle it and then just
Oh,
put
yeah.
water in a pitcher, and like they just leave that in the fridge, and that's usually what they drink. It's just a different way to like stop or not have them drink so much juice. Not stop, but like just not have them
Yeah.
drink so much juice sometimes.
Oh, that sounds delicious. Sometimes I'll do that and add some cucumber or lemon, lime to it, and that makes such a good water. It spruces up water if you don't like it, and it's a great option in the summer. Really hydrates you.
Yeah, so I think that we might have forgotten Asia, and I think with that one, it's
Yes.
more ginger that they use.
Yeah, you're right. Right.
And I forgot the other ones, but I use ginger just for teas sometimes.
Yeah.
And to just cook different proteins, and I just add my vegetables to it. So I love making like ginger and pineapple chicken.
Yeah, those are
So-
great options. Ginger is really popular over there. They'll use it for either on top of or on the side of sushi as just the big ginger pieces, or
Yeah.
it's ground up as a spice. So you can put that, mix it with any protein you have. It's also really anti-inflammatory, so the body will feel so good after you have it. And then they also love sesame seeds. Do you like sesame? Kind of.
Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe.
Yeah.
A bagel.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's a whole other thing. You're incorporating that sesame into your regular bagel.
Great.
You're already going into it.
Oh, good. So I think what we have to let our audience know is that we have to be careful when we're adding different spices that we're not used to using. So you add just a little bit just to see if you're going to like it, because sometimes some of these spices are really strong and they can make or break a dish. So I know that trying different recipes at home, if I add too much cumin or if I add too much of something else, no one's going to be eating it. They kind of walk in and the meal smells different, and
Absolutely.
that's the end, and we're ordering pizza for the night. So I think like when you're trying to use different things, you just have to be careful and add just a little pinch And then if you like it, you gradually add a little bit more. I think the other thing that we sometimes use is herbs. So fresh herbs make a world of difference when you're cooking versus the dried herbs, and they just like really freshen up any plate and give you that extra zing to like any recipe.
Absolutely. Like basil, if you have dried basil versus fresh basil, it's such a different taste. If you're cooking different meats, it's really good to mix the dry basil in. But let's say that you're having mozzarella, or if you're just making a toast.
Mozzarella with
Fresh
tomato
basil.
and fresh basil, yeah.
Exactly. It
That's
tastes
great.
so different. It tastes so good. So it's just getting used to which herb you like.
Well, this is our show. Thank you for joining us. I hope that you have learned a few things and that you will incorporate some of what you've learned today into your daily meals.
And we'll see you next month with a new topic.